Somebody's got a case of the Mondays. That is me, the case of the Mondays. Everybody, I got some sad news. The Arizona Cardinals are going to go 23-0 this year. Why, Ravens? Why? Why do you never lose in the preseason? Okay, anyways. Let's get to it. Anyways, as we do, Arizona Cards Cast, 8/22/2022. Let's get to it. All right, so we're going to recap the Cardinals-Ravens. The Cardinals losing 24-17 to the Baltimore Ravens. So what can we talk about with this game? To be honest with you, it was discouraging in many ways, but it was also encouraging in many ways. Andy Isabella making a little bit of a push to make the team. Trace McSorley was just bad. He was just really bad. He looked like a third-string quarterback. I'll say that much. Some of the defensive players, it's okay. To tell you the truth, there wasn't too much that stood out. You know what stood out? Matt Prater. What the heck is going on with Matt Prater? Other things, Omar Bolden, he was not terrible. Like, he might make the team. He might be a good, third down back, even though Bill Belichick never used him like that in New England. But outside of James White in third down situations, Bill Belichick was, I don't know, him and McDaniels, you never knew what they're going to do with the running backs. Obviously, you could never really use a Patriots player running back in fantasy football. Really not much to take from this game. Kyler Murray, can kind of, brush a little dirt off his shoulders, getting 14 points while calling plays where Cliff Kingsbury in 3 quarters only had 3 points. So, yeah, brush your dirt off your shoulders, Kyler Murray, must say. Anyways, I think we're just ready for the season at this point. I mean, some fringe players, as I said, McBride didn't do much. McSorley was just awful, a couple of just easily anticipated interceptions. He missed Bolden in the end zone on a nice little scramble drill on 3rd and goal, which could have got the Cards within 3 at the half. Great way to fight back in the fourth quarter. The rookies really didn't stand out. None of them really did much of anything. It was, as I said, it was kind of just an underwhelming, preseason game. We're ready for week 1. I'll make this one short and sweet. Maybe I'm just an alternative lifestyle kind of guy. But those black helmets were sick, weren't they? I love the black helmets with the black tops. I thought it was a pretty sleek look. I hope the Cards, I could see them doing that look on Thursday night football when they play the Saints in DeAndre Hopkins' return game in Week 7. I thought the helmets were just pretty fantastic. I love the alternate uniforms. I love the alternate helmets. To tell you the truth, the red helmet with the black top does not look quite as sleek as the black helmet and the black top. I'm all for it. Thumbs up, Cards. Loved it. Next question on our list is to play or not play the Stars. So, as you know, in the preseason, I would say any team that has maybe a top 15 quarterback outside of Andy Reid, who's kind of a little bit of old school mentality with Patrick Mahomes, has not played their quarterback at all this preseason. Pretty much, as you can see, even Russell Wilson with a new team is not seeing the field. Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson in the Ravens-Cardinals game last night. None of those guys saw the field. Lamar Jackson with those cool sunglasses just hanging out on the sideline. Kyler Murray with a headset calling plays, having some fun with it. I am, this is a tough one, but I actually am leaning over. I think that the risk is not. The reward is not worth the risk, even though, Mahomes did look fantastic and probably created some rhythm with a lot of new weapons in Kansas City. I think, and just my opinion, I would say to sit your star quarterback. Obviously, someone like Trevor Lawrence, who's our Zach Wilson. I know he got injured. That's an example, but I would say first and second year guys got to play. They got to play. But obviously, if you've been around a little bit, and you really don't need the game action, I would say don't play your stars, especially your quarterbacks. But just my opinion. This next segment, I have my wife, Steph, in the background. She's going to ask me a few questions of who would I rather have. All right, the floor is yours.
All right. First question. Over the next 5 years, are you going with Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray?
That's a good question. I'm not just being a homer, but I think I would go with Kyler Murray just because. Can I explain why? Yes. Okay.
Let's hear it.
I think Kyler Murray is a better thrower of the football, and I think that actually expounds a little bit more durability. Plus, both quarterbacks had durability issues last year. Lamar Jackson was injured at the end of last year. Kyler Murray also suffered, an ankle injury and has been a little banged up. But I'd say over the next 5 years, I'd go with Kyler Murray. It's close though. It's really close. You didn't ask me who's better right now. You said over the next 5 years, who would you rather have? I would rather have.
But Jackson 5.
Jackson 5. No, I'm going Kyler.
All right.
It's close. It's close. Would I rather have Lamar Jackson or Baker Mayfield? That's not the question. Yes. Would I rather have Lamar Jackson or Kyler?
Okay.
I'll take Kyler.
Okay. All right. Shifting gears, going to baseball. Would you take the Dodgers or the Mets in the National League?
Oh, that's a good question. Of course, the amazing Mets are back this year. I mean, kind of out of nowhere, Jacob deGrom is back throwing 127 miles an hour. With deGrom and Scherzer, that's going to be tough in the playoffs. Has a wild card. I think St. Louis is a dark horse in the National League. Paul Goldschmidt, sorry, I know. Don't say it, Paul Goldschmidt.
You need to get over that.
I can't, Us D-back fans cannot get over the fact that Paul Goldschmidt is going to win MVP this year. 4 years after the D-backs traded him. It wasn't like with your Rockies, Nolan Arenado, who was wanted to leave. Great other star of the Cardinals who's only hitting 300 this year. Paul Goldschmidt's hitting 341. And he could have still been in Arizona. Instead, they gave all that money to Madison Bumgarner, who's more grouchy than my grandfather. In a close one, because of the Dodgers' starting pitching injuries, I'll go with the Mets. I actually think that the Mets should be the favorite in the National League, even though I know the Dodgers have a little bit better lineup. But I think the Mets have better pitching.
I hope it's the Mets because I hate the Dodgers.
I know you do.
Okay. We're going to go with food.
Okay.
Random.
Okay.
Chinese or Mexican food?
Ooh. I know what your answer is. Shoot. I'm going to go with Mexican food. It's close. I love orange chicken, but I'll go with Mexican food. Nothing beats guacamole. Avocado and guacamole. Life is just better. Just that alone. I'm not even going to elaborate any further. Mexican food.
Okay. Better be Mexican food. All right, going back to, I guess this is a sports question, but it's going to be in general, I guess, right?
Okay.
Would you rather have a Hall of Fame career or win one championship?
And obviously, winning the one championship means no Hall of Fame, right?
Right.
One championship. I mean, you only get sprinkles if you win, right? Sprinkles are for winners. I know you can say Hall of Fame career is a winner, but I'm sure, ask Dan Marino that question. I'm sure Dan Marino would give up his Hall of Fame, plaque for one championship. So.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
So you'd rather be Blaine Gabbert winning the one championship?
I didn't say that. I'd rather be someone who actually plays.
Okay.
I'd rather be I'd rather be like Robert Horry, for example. I don't think Robert Horry's in the Basketball Hall of Fame, right? He's won a bunch of championships, but he got to play. He got to play a lot and was a big part of the Lakers and Spurs and Rockets, and I don't know. I'm sure he won college basketball too. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is the most important one.
Okay.
So, would I rather?
Not me. This isn't for me.
This is for me.
This is for you.
This is a pretty easy one for me, but.
Okay.
Would I rather have Jimmy Garoppolo or Mr. Drew?
All right. We're not answering that question. All right, last segment of the show. And this is the NFC least. This isn't even the NFC East. This is the NFC least, because this division is going to be objectively terrible. By far the worst division in football. There's not really a good team, to be honest with you, in this division. But, a 2 up, 2 down. We're going to start the Eagles. I have the Eagles in first, and I'm going to stick with it. I don't know if Jalen Hurts is a franchise quarterback. I'm going to give the Eagles one more win, by the way, to 9-8 at least, so they have a winning record. I don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to be a franchise quarterback, but I do think that the Eagles have a good offensive line. They're actually good up front on both sides of the ball. I think A.J. Brown would be a good enough addition, even though I think that they're going to lose. They'll probably be the same as they were last year. They'll be the good bad team. I think they'll kind of feast on the division a little bit. But I think any good team they play this year, they're not going to win. I think that they'll be able to squirt into the playoffs at 9-8. The Cowboys at 8-9. We're going to keep the Cowboys there. Here's my issue with the Dallas Cowgirls, the most public team in all of American professional sports. I know they get the highest ratings. I know, I hear this. I have friends, good friends who are Cowboys fans. Blah, blah, blah. You guys haven't won anything in 25 years. It's kind of funny. The last time you even made the NFC Championship game was 1995. Just saying. Anyways, so the Cowboys 8-9. I think the loss of Amari Cooper is going to be bigger than people think. I think the offensive line is getting a little long in the tooth. I think the defense outside of Micah Parsons is not. There's a lot to be desired. I just think they're going to be a mediocre football team, to be honest with you. And remember, I was on the Cowboys last year. I thought the Cowboys were going to win the division easily, and they did. This year, I think the Cowboys drop back down, miss the playoffs at 8-9. I actually think the Eagles probably win that Week 17 game over the Cowboys to leapfrog them and win the division. The Commanders at 7-10. I'm actually going to give the Commanders one more win. Let's get them as well at 8-9. I like the D-line. I like the coach. Carson Wentz is an upgrade. No offense to Taylor Heineken. I know that people are, frowning as they're drinking their skunky Heinekens. But Carson Wentz, I know for all the crap he gets, he is an upgraded quarterback. I think the Commanders they're going to be mediocre. But, they won 7 games last year with Taylor Heineke. I think they can win 8 games this year in a pretty crappy division with Carson Wentz. That leaves the Giants. So I actually thought at 5-12, no offense to Brian Dable, he could be a good coach, but this may be the worst roster in all of football. They really did nothing. They were a team that won 4 games last year and did nothing at all to improve their football team. But again, free agency. Tyrod Taylor, come on, guys. They're in cap hell. This was a bad team who didn't have money to spend. They got worse. Even in a bad division, I am putting the Giants at 3-14, and yes, they will be battling with another team from the NFC. You can take a wild guess who it's going to be, and you'll find out in the next few days on the clock. 3-14, the New York Giants. They're going to be one of the worst teams in football. They should probably have traded for Jimmy Garoppolo. Screw that guy, actually. Screw Jimmy Garoppolo. Don't trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. I hope Jimmy Garoppolo never plays football ever again and goes into a different... Shush! Anyways. All right. Yeah, there's my NFC East predictions. It's going to be pretty rough. Follow me on Twitter at Sudrew. Thanks. We will see you tomorrow.